Hello YouTubers, and today I'm going to be reviewing this, which is the Supersonic and Super Shadow Lights Up 2-pack. So yeah, this has only just come out here in the UK, and these two figures here, as far as I'm aware, you cannot buy these individually, you can only buy them here as a 2-pack, although you can buy them individually as just standard figures. So yeah, basically, you know, if you want the light up variants, then you have to buy it as a 2-pack. But to be honest, it's better value doing that anyway, and I'll get more into that on in the review. So we'll start off with Supersonic, which my one has an incredibly loose, wobbly head. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, quite worryingly loose, to be honest. I mean, it isn't broken, thankfully, but yeah, it is quite a loose, sort of wobbly head. You can see that it wobbles about, which is a little bit unfortunate. My Super Shadow is perfectly fine, his head is perfectly fine. But yeah, just an issue on my one there that I'd point out. But yeah, in terms of the figure itself, well, if you've got the standard Supersonic, then this is basically the same thing, though you do lose out on any waist articulation here, so you can't do like an ab crunch and that. Same with the Super Shadow here, though to be honest, in a way I kind of prefer it, in a way that you don't get the ugly line going across here. Unfortunately on the Sonic at least you do get that button there, which I think is slightly better disguised on the Shadow than it is on the Supersonic. But yeah, they've obviously, you know, painted him. Well, I see it painted, they've moulded the plastic in, obviously, a yellow, but they've also given it either a wash over the top, or it could be the plastic, to give it a little bit of a sheen, so when it catches the light, it almost looks more like it's glowing. They've gotten the colour of his eyes correct, thankfully, and obviously, the big headline feature, this. Look at that. So yeah, the yellow really pulsates through quite well on this, and also lights up his eyes red. So yeah, it is really well done. Unfortunately, I can't mind, his head is wobbling all over the place with this one, unfortunately. To the point where I'm slightly worried it's going to break off, I don't know. I might end up putting a teeny tiny bit of blue tack at the back, maybe to stop it from wobbling around so much. But other than that, he is really well articulated. All the articulation is exactly the same, bar that joint here in the middle. And yeah, the battery compartment is really well disguised. Obviously, we've got the one screw there, but his back quills do cover it pretty well. And obviously, you know, he comes with the demo batteries in there, already installed in the box as well. And thankfully, it will have these pull tabs in there in the box. So basically, if you're looking for this on a shelf, make sure you grab a one where the pull tabs have not been pulled out, because that way you know the batteries, you know, haven't been used or worn down and are fresh. But yeah, they both take the same button cell batteries. But again, really nicely well detailed figure, and it's nice that, you know, I mean, obviously the body of this is just obviously a standard Sonic, and the head is obviously the Supersonic head with the quills pointing upwards. But obviously it's had some little cutouts here to let the light or lightning effects and that really shine through a lot more. And this really does glow really well, particularly in the dark. Turning to the Super Shadow figure, again, I can basically say the same thing with that. If you've got the standard figure, then again, this is basically the same thing, except obviously we've got a little window cutouts here for the Shadow to basically glow. And I will say it again, the button here is a little bit better disguised, being part of his chest hair, and yeah, he does really glow really well. The only downside to the glow is that on the Shadow, it seems you can, because of the red stripe going across here, when you do glow it, depending on the lighting, you can actually see where the two joins of plastic join with each other, though again, that is a minor issue. And that with accent, to be honest, I'd take it over that really nice effect. But yeah, he's obviously in the brighter yellow. He doesn't quite sheen the same. He's got much more of a matte finish compared to Sonic's more sort of a glossy, almost sparkly in some cases like finish to it, but other than that, extremely well detailed figure. Basically no notes on that. Same battery compartment thing on the back here, which they both take the exact same button cell type batteries, which again thankfully are included with these. But again, if you're a collector who likes to keep, you know, your figures on the shelf and sealed and that, I would recommend opening this to take the batteries out of it, because obviously those batteries will one day corrode. Thankfully, you can put these figures back into their bubble here, and just like with the 4-pack, so that you can put them back in the box on display. And the backdrops are, you know, your kind of standard eyes type backdrop on there. It would have been nice if they'd actually, you know, maybe done it in space and that, but they are quite dynamically posed and that in the box as well. But yeah, not really much else to say on this. Now, in terms of the price on this set, in the UK, it is £30, which is a pretty decent price considering that if they were released individually, they would be £20 each. So you're basically saving a tenner on this, and basically you're getting these light-up variants for the same price as you would if you're buying the standard ones. Now, obviously, there was last year that 4-pack set where you got the standard light-up Sonic and the standard light-up Shadow with a Knuckles and exclusive Tails figure, and that was also £30. That one seems to be the weird outlier, and that's it's weird. I hope that 4-pack does come back into stock at some point, because I do regret not buying a second one, otherwise just to keep sealed for display purposes. But yeah, with this set, I don't know, I might actually buy a second one at some point to keep sealed, also mainly because he has the wobbliest head imaginable, and unfortunately that is something obviously you can't tell when it's in the box. But overall, I do highly recommend this set, and I do prefer it, particularly with this one compared to the other ones, because obviously, you know, both of them light up like that, and it does really make the figures, you know, come alive, and that particularly obviously now that they're both in their super form. No accessories and that are included, and that with this, so you don't get an emerald or anything. But if you do have the Wave 3 standard Sonic figure, then the Master Emerald is included with this, so that might be a nice thing to display alongside these two. But yeah, basically that's it. Not a huge amount to say, because again, it's a really good set, really high details, and also it's a pretty decent price as well. So yeah, apart from that quality control with that head, and I should also mention one other thing about quality control. I don't know if it was just the Smith's Toys that I went in, but they had 7 of them in stock, and 5 out of the 7 sets had random black marks on the figures in various places. Like there was one where Sonic had like a black mark on his arm. There was one where Shadow had one round his ear. There were just these random black marks. I don't know if you know, that's just dirt or whether they'll come off or not. I don't know. But it is something worth pointing out. So I recommend, you know, going into a shop and actually looking at them and, you know, finding the best one in there. That was just something I noticed. I'm hoping this isn't a sign of quality control going down, because up until this point, Jakks Pacific's quality control has been excellent up until this point. So yeah, just worth something to point out there. And obviously, you know, pointing out my Sonic head is, you know, wobbly and that as well. So, you know, hopefully it's not a sign of downgrading quality. But again, highly recommend this set. And yeah, there we go, people, there we go.